Hello, family. My name is Darren 1831 Collins, and today I'll be reading the first book of my children's book series entitled No Mountain High Enough, Zola's Daddy-Daughter Dates. The dedication is to my daughter, Zola Shakur Collins. My heart beats when you breathe with unconditional love, Daddy. Daddy used to read to me. He even read to me before I was born. When I was younger, my daddy would tell me, Zola, in life, you can only go as far as your imagination. Books help build your imagination and develop your ability to give life to the unseen. I didn't know what he meant, but I'm starting to understand. My daddy loves to read, and so do I. And I know that books can take you to worlds far beyond your wildest dreams. I was born on March 5. My daddy says that even the dog knew I was coming. Your mom's water broke when she tried to kick Yogi out of the nursery. The door was closed. How did he get in? He laughs. We went to Washington Park and walked to the hospital. You were perfect, he says, smiling at me. He always picks me up when he tells the story. Shortly after I was born, my mommy and daddy got a divorce, but they both still loved me so much. My mommy tried to move us away from my daddy. They went to court, and it really hurt when I couldn't see my daddy when I wanted. I love him so much that my very first word was Dada. I would say it over and over again until he appeared. In court, there was a man in a long black robe. He sat at the front of the court. He knew I wanted to be with my daddy, and my daddy wanted to be with me. They went back and forth to court for months, but it seemed like forever. Every time my daddy saw the man in the robe, he gave us more time together. I call them daddy-daughter dates. I love the dates my daddy takes me on. He makes me feel so important. When my daddy came to pick me up, I would use my imagination. I would picture us on the most adventurous and wondrous daddy-daughter date ever. Once we were a king and a princess. Another time, we were pioneers in search of a lost land. Whenever I spent time with my daddy, it was like time stood still. We were all that mattered. I love my daddy. Our doggy Yogi is really smart and playful. My daddy takes him on long walks to the park and lets him play and run around with other dogs. I begged my daddy to take me on a walk with them. He looked down and said, Zola, it is too cold, baby. Your cheeks and nose will turn red. But I wanted to be wherever my daddy was. I begged, and he finally gave in. On the walk, I used my wonderfully powerful imagination. My daddy and I became sled drivers, and Yogi was our sled dog. I imagined 6 dogs attached to the sled with my daddy at the helm. We were on a mission to explore the North Pole. We were the only brave souls willing to face such harsh weather. It was bitterly cold, but I was with my daddy, and that was where I wanted to be. One time, my daddy took me to Washington Park to see the Universal Circus. There were clowns and motorcycle stunts. I saw trapeze artists, contortionists, and men riding horses. The event was very impressive. I asked my daddy about every act. Daddy, what if they fall? Daddy, how much does an elephant weigh? Daddy, how can he squeeze into a hula hoop? Once again, my imagination took over. Daddy and I were the king and princess of Washington Park. We wore purple robes. Daddy's crown was so big it nearly fell off. I looked up at Daddy and asked, "Can I have some cotton candy, please, Your Highness?" He looked at me with a smile on his face. "Yes, my princess." He called the court jester over and asked for 2 cotton candies. The jester nodded and obliged. "It is my pleasure to serve you and the future queen of the kingdom." For Halloween, my daddy took me trick or treating. We dressed up as King Kong in the Empire State Building. Of course, my daddy was the Empire State Building. We went from house to house and came back with a garbage bag full of candy. There was more candy than I could eat in a whole year. Daddy only let me eat 2 pieces before dinner. I think he keeps my Halloween candy in the garage and secretly eats all of it. But that's what daddies are for, I think. Even though we were dressed up like King Kong in the Empire State Building, I imagined we were pirates in search of our treasure. We went from island to island, digging through mounds of gold, silver, and platinum, so we could find our true treasure, the house that gave out money after they ran out of candy. We found 4 islands with no more candy. Our booty totaled $3.50. Everybody loves that house, right? My daddy loves to take care of his house. He always tells me, "In the future, this will all be yours, and you need to know how to take care of it." One day, he took me to the rooftop. He showed me how to check for water damage. We looked over the top of the building. Daddy told me, "You can have anything you want. You just have to believe." I knew what he said was true because Daddy believed, and the judge gave us more daddy daughter dates. Once again, we were the king and the princess of Washington Park. We overlooked our kingdom from up high. My daddy showed me my birthright. I pictured a hamlet with all the houses leading to our castle. Daddy walked along the roof, telling me how to ensure the kingdom's safety. He told me where the guards should be and how to stop intruders. He is a good king. I love my daddy. I can't wait until our next daddy daughter date. Who knows where it will take us? I know my daddy loves me because he makes me feel special every time he holds me. Even though daddy and mommy divorced, he shows me every day how much I mean to him. Maybe we'll go fishing, skating, or biking on our next adventure. But for now, it is nap time, and there's no better place to sleep than in my daddy's arms. The end. That concludes No Mountain High Enough, Zola's Daddy Daughter Dates. This is the perfect book for any girl dad or any daddy's girl that you may know.